So today we are getting real and raw with the reasons that we don't exercise. And before I go any further, I want to talk about the meaning of reasons. And I'm just going to read it to you straight from the dictionary, which is it is the cause, the explanation, or justification for an action or event that we either take or don't take. That's an interesting one, isn't it, Sal?
Very reason.
It is.
Very reason. Sorry. Justification. I like that word.
Justification. Yeah, me too. So it is Peter and Sal here from Strong Healthy Women, and we are getting down and dirty today. And we have been thinking about this topic for a long time because it is pretty much in your face. And so we hummed and hawed about it, but we decided we were going to do it anyway, didn't we, Sal?
We did. Yes.
Are you excited?
I am excited.
Yeah, okay.
I am excited. And I hope everybody out there is excited and takes it on board too.
Yeah. Because it's coming from a good place. It's coming from love and care. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so, look, the reality is that every single one of us know we need to sit less, we need to move more, and we need to exercise to stay strong and fit for life. We know that it's a no-brainer. So, but when I went and actually had a look at the stats, which was really, really interesting for women over 55, it's almost 60% of us do not get enough exercise into our daily life. So that's pretty mind-boggling that we're not doing enough. And I know that because I often talk to ladies who say to me, I exercise. And when I ask what they do, they go to yoga one day a week, or they go to Pilates one day a week, or they do some type of sporting activity with a friend a day a week. And we all know that that's not enough. If we think back to, our ancient times, we would move on average 15,000 steps. We'd be picking berries from the trees, we'd be hunting animals, we'd be squatting down, reaching up, doing all sorts of things. But because of technology, life, the way it is, it forces us into this situation where we are more sedentary than what we were. So, exercise is a relatively new thing. I think it was basically in the 60s and that it started 70s. And so, it is something that we've all become more aware of that we need to do. So I want to roll on to the first reason that I have written down, and I'm sure it's probably on your list too, and that is time. So I don't have enough time to exercise. The fact is that there's probably someone who is out there who is busier than you actually is exercising. So, and I think that word busy is just thrown around so much that it actually doesn't have as much impact as it used to. And I always like to say in the Strong Healthy Women community that we have things to do. Because when you look at what you're doing in daily life, it's like, well, what are the things I'm doing today? So you can actually sit down and list them all off, So I'm going to write a newsletter. I'm going to go out for a walk later. So these are all things that I can actually list out and relate to. But when I say busy, it's like, well, what's in the busy basket? And it could be anything. But there are probably things that we're all doing that we don't need to do. Scrolling through social media, that's a biggie. That can really, really distract us and take up a lot of time as well too. So, and I know I am going to put my hand up because I am guilty of doing the old, you're putting your hand up too, the old scroll through and everything. So I think that if you are someone who's busy and got things to do, I want you to really just sit down and look at what you are doing because I'm sure that you can even find a 5-minute window. And let's face it, you might be saying, hey, how on earth am I going to get fitter and stronger in 5 minutes? It is totally possible, because that 5 minutes, if you can fit it in a couple of times during the course of the day, then it's going to add up for you. And if you can only do it once, that's okay, but it's way more than what you're currently doing now.
Absolutely.
Do you have anything you want to add to time?
You add, 5 minutes into each hour, and we do have a program where it's fit in 5.
Yeah.
So, every hour, on the hour, it's 5 minutes of exercise, whether that's squatting, sit to stand, running on the spot, whatever it is. Now, if you do that over an 8-hour day, that's 40 minutes of exercise.
Yeah.
Over an 8-hour period, and let's face it, most of us are awake, from 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. And you can just, if you're hanging the washing out, because, your laundry goes for an hour. Okay, well, before I hang it out, I'm going to jog on the spot out in the sunshine.
Yeah.
So those 5-minute blocks definitely add up.
They do add up, yeah. So my tip for you today is to try not to say the word busy. Try to rephrase it to I've got things to do, and actually list out those things you have to do. Look for those windows of opportunity and take advantage of those windows that you might have. Yep. Let's throw to you, Sal.
And also, when you're writing, sorry, Pete, I was just going to add, when you're writing out your list of things to do, put a little time, how long you think it's going to take you. And then you will see in writing how busy you are. And you're probably,
for me personally,
not.
For me personally, like, I don't work any longer than a half an hour at my desk. I will get up after a half an hour. So I will go and do something, because I know that if I sit here any longer than that, I'm not being as productive as I could possibly be. So it definitely, just changes that whole energy flow. The energy in our body gets very stale if we're sitting for too long or we're in the same position. So what we want to do is we want to mix it up and change that energy for ourselves.
Absolutely.
What's the next thing you've got on your list, Sal?
So I have got on my list, tired.
Oh, I'm tired.
Too tired.
Oh, okay. That's a nice one.
Yeah, I'm tired. But the problem with that excuse is that exercise, you may be too tired to exercise, but exercising will help with your tiredness.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a paradox. If you get out there and you do exercise, it is going to give you the energy that you need. And let's face it, it's going to give you that confidence booster too. Because, it puts a smile, exercise puts a smile on your face, because you go, well, I just got that done. And the only reason would be, if you are saying you're tired all the time, and even after you've exercised, you're still tired, probably go and see a doctor, because I dare say it's a little bit more than just, I haven't had enough sleep. It could be a medical issue like sleep apnea. So it's probably something, after a little while, if you're still tired from exercising, go and get yourself checked out. But yeah, being tired is a wonderful excuse.
It actually, what it's done for me, Sal, has triggered the fact that when I was going through menopause, however long that was ago, one of the things that I suffered from was insomnia. And so I would wake constantly. And I know a lot of ladies actually do experience that as well too. And when that happens, you are obviously not getting enough sleep, and you are going to feel tired. And so, I went through some natural remedies and things like that to actually help that improve, which I did. But what I also found was that I had created this habit of getting up. So I had to retrain myself to actually stay in bed and roll back over and go back to sleep. And so that can happen as well too. So we get into these patterns of doing certain activities, waking up, getting up, going to the bathroom, when the reality is that maybe we don't need to do those things. And what we've got to do is actually sit down and reassess and retrain ourselves, to have a better way of sleeping, a better habit of sleeping itself. And of course, I exercised that whole time. That was actually at the point when I first started exercising, because I was going through that menopause. I was starting to put on weight. I was starting to feel like I needed the nana naps in the middle of the afternoon as well too. And so that tiredness was really catching up with me. And a friend actually suggested that I try out some strength training. And that's what I did. And I really found that it actually gave me the energy. I felt more, as you said, more confident in myself. I also felt that I was able to face the day a lot better.
Yeah. The other thing too is when we are tired, and you were talking about, if you are going through menopause or you are having those wait periods during the night, what are you doing when you wake up? Like you said, for yourself, it was a habit of getting up and going to the toilet because that's what you'd already been doing, but what else could you be doing? Are you sneaking off to the fridge? I know for me, that was a thing. I'd, 2:00 in the morning and I'm having a chocolate at the fridge. Why am I doing that? And that's having a huge effect on your body and your mental side of it as well, because sleep is when your body is repairing. That's when your body gets to repair from the day that you've had. So if you're tired, it is more than likely that you well, not more than likely, your body's just not repairing. So it's not, not resetting for the next day.
Yeah, it's not
restored. So you're going into each day tired and tired. Yeah.
And it's not restoring. And the magic of sleep, good recovery, is that it does help slow down the impact of aging as well too. So and that's a big thing as well. I was recently doing something new, and I happened to mention, how old I was, and like a lot of people just sort of like fell off the chair type of thing, because I was specifically talking about how old my kids were. My kids were actually older than all these people in the room. And so it was like, really? How old are you then? And I really honestly think that, sleep is the foundation of having a really, really good life. And yes, tiredness can impact how we actually feel about wanting to exercise. But again, you don't have to do a big session. It can be a small session. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I went down and had a look at, because that I'm a fan of all the research. So so I've gone and actually had a look at all the reasons that women over 50 actually give for not exercising. So I'm just going to run down the list. We've got self-efficacy. So they are your beliefs, your values associated with, whether you should or should not exercise. The fear of injury is the other one. The fear of injury was an interesting one. So it was 46%. So that was a big one. Yeah. So that was definitely a big one. Inertia. So, we just want to bury our heads in the sand and think it'll go away, by itself, but it doesn't. So we do nothing about it, and we, don't want to change. And that's okay. If you want to, sit in that's all right. That's up to you. But that at some point not exercising will catch up with all of us. It's going to impact us. when it comes to how we move, how we can live our life, but also, you know, those chronic health diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, you know, heart disease, all of those types of things as well too. The other reason, Sal, go.
Sorry, Peter. I just wanted to say with that, Enosha, as well, burying your head in the sand and going, oh well, this is, you know, how life is and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
If that's the path you want to go down, that's great, but own it. Don't complain to every person that you have a saw this or a saw that, or I can't do this or I can't do that. Own it, because if that's the reason that you don't want to exercise, that's okay. Like, you know, that's your life, but make sure you own it and you don't, you know, complain about it on a daily basis to everybody around you.
Yeah, exactly. What have I got next? Self-conscious. That's an interesting one, isn't it? And we've heard that one a lot, where, you know, oh, I just need to lose some weight, or I need to be able to move a lot better before I start exercising. Well, you know, it's going to help you do those things. So just bite the bullet and do it. Health problems. Now, health problems is legitimate, definitely, you know, but there are always different things that you can do depending on those health issues that you happen to have. You know, if I think about the lovely Glenn, who has gone through, you know, bouts of cancer.
She's amazing.
Cancer treatments, you know, she hasn't missed a beat as far as her exercise is concerned, you know, and they have said to her, you know, if she wasn't doing what she did, you know, that recovery that she goes through would have been a lot longer for her. So, you know, and she's not the only one in our community that has been through that. There are countless amounts of women who have been through cancer and have actually continued to exercise through the whole thing. It's just adjusting it. It really is just adjusting it for what's happening. Time we've already talked about, so we're going to just put that one to bed right now. Then we've got knowledge. So knowledge is an interesting one. Like, I don't have the skills. I don't understand what to do. I'm not sure how to go about this. And that brings us to the support. Like, I don't have the support. And how often do we hear women say, you know, my hubby or, you know, my partner just sabotages me all the time. You know, they're always bringing home special treats for me, or they're always distracting me from me working out, type of thing. But, you know, that's us. Again, we have to wear this, because this is us not setting clear boundaries to say, no, that's not going to happen. So, they might be bringing home all of those things, but we have a voice and we are able to use that and say, no, I don't want you to do that. And so we just need to stand up for ourselves.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And we don't. And I think that comes back to, you know, being, you know, 20, 30, 40 years of whatever it may be, you know, married, and, you know, the husband always has the say, or we're, you know, 20, 30, 40 years of always making sure everyone around us is happy. And that's been our habit. You know, everyone's got to be happy before I am. I've got to make sure everyone's taken care of before I am. So our voices get pushed down. And when it is time to speak up, and as you said, set those clear boundaries, we do not know how to.
Yeah, exactly. And then the last one is, you know, just really having that support. And sometimes that support, if it's not coming from our family, then it needs to come from someone external to that. And that's where coaches are great, because they are going to support you. They're impartial. They're going to be looking at the data, because I think sometimes what happens is we tend to focus on how we're feeling. So as opposed to looking at it as just numbers. So, you know, if you think about it, maybe you set yourself a goal that you were going to work out 15 days in the month, as an example, and then you get to it and you only do 9. So what happens is you go, oh, I'm such a loser. I didn't get it. So you start to beat yourself up because you start to get into the feeling aspect of it, as opposed to, okay, I had 15 down, I only did 9. Moving forward next month, what did I learn from the 9 that I did? Why did I only get 9 in? What was the reason? Yeah. What was the reason for it? So there could have been legitimate reasons for it, or maybe what happened is that when you set that goal, it was too high and it needed to be maybe 10 when you're just starting out, as an example. So it is just taking the emotions out of everything and looking at as data. If you use the scale as an example, you jump on the scale and what happens is, they stay the same, they stay the same, they stay the same. Whereas if you look at it and you go, well, hang on a minute, my clothes are feeling looser, then more than likely what's happening there is you're becoming leaner, your body composition is changing. And so that is more data that you can learn from. Or it could simply be that that scale is maintaining, it's exactly the same. So if you are someone who's tracking the calories that you're taking in, as an example, then you might be eating, I don't know, let's use 2,000 calories as an example, or 2,200 or something like that. So you now know that 2,200 is your maintenance because nothing's changed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you go, well, hang on a minute, I want to lose a little bit more. So what I've got to do is drop that by 500 calories instead of you going back to that old way of thinking, which we hear so often, I'm going to eat 1,200 calories. Some women have been sitting there eating that, starving, really starving for years and years and years and years and years. And yet, what we can do is just simply use it as data to say, well, you know what, I can eat more. Yeah, I can eat more. And I need to stop focusing on the emotion of it and the feelings of it.
Yeah. And combining those 3 that you just said, Peter, so it was self-conscious, knowledge, and support. That self-conscious comes in. I don't have the knowledge. What if my support says to me, 9 times out of 10, our brain goes to, they're going to think I'm stupid. Yeah. And that's not what your support is about. Your support is there to give you that knowledge. So please don't be self-conscious in reaching out, because we all start from somewhere, and you have to start from somewhere. Hey, I was 37. Yes, I did the old aerobic sessions when I was 19 and 20 in the class and all that. But I was 37 when I started doing strength training. And that's when I started building my knowledge. And then when I joined you, I became a Cert 4 trainer. But you're never too old to learn, So don't be self-conscious and think that you have to lose the weight, or you have to learn how to squat, or you have to learn how to push up before you can reach that support. Because that's what your support is for, to teach you how to push up, how to squat, or how to lose your weight, or how to teach you how to exercise. That's what your knowledge is for. So I think those 3 sort of all go hand in hand.
I think it also leads me into a little bit of mindset in, are you focused on being a problem solver or a solution? So do you focus on the problems, or do you focus on the solutions, as an example? And so if we go back to that example that I was giving with the 9 workouts over the 15 that you set your goal for, well, does your mind simply go, as I said, that you're such a loser because you didn't do it, as opposed to, let me see what obstacles stop me here. Let me find the solution for it, as opposed to it's a problem. I just can't fit it in because I don't have the time. So, yeah, there's a lot of mindset work that goes on when it comes to taking that first step, and then also being consistent with it, as well as just simply sitting where we are at. And we see this all the time as well too. So if you think about it, we started today our 21-day knee pain solution. We have our free group when I've done a poll in there and said, okay, tell me where all your aches and pains are. We've got the stats on shoulders and the stats on knees and, wrists and hips and everything else in between. And so, the biggest winner was knee pain. But when I actually, tagged the ladies and said, hey, the knee pain solution starting, it's like, there's
radio silence.
Yeah, there is. There's nothing going on there.
Yeah.
And so what does that say? It says that, yeah, you've got knee pain, but it's not a priority for you. You're going, okay, it's there, but it's simply just part of who I am. And I love that image that you shared this morning, with the knees. And it says, did you used to just say, I've got a left knee and a right knee, and now you're saying I've got a good knee and a bad knee. So I really like that.
But it's so true though. And going back to that radio silence that we're talking about.
Yeah.
That's either sitting in the problem or grabbing onto that solution.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are happy to sit in the problem. Yep, I've got sore knees. That's my life now. Oh, well, I won't do anything. And they have this great program and great resource to help their life better.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't want to face that. I don't want to face that. And, and that comes back to as well, Peter. Yes, ladies, it is a paid program, but it is an amazing program. And that's not coming from bias because I'm, we're strong, healthy women. It is an amazing program. And it's 21 days. It is 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And, one of the excuses can be, oh, but I can't afford it. Can't you? Can you afford to go out with your friends for lunch once a week? Can you afford to have a coffee every day at $5 a day? What are you spending money on that you could go, okay, well, no, I don't need that. Dinner out every second night.
Yeah.
This is about keeping you moving for longer in your life so you can go out for dinner.
Absolutely.
So you can go out for lunch with your friends. But, what camp are you in? Are you sitting in the problem, or are you going to grab hold of that solution and run with it?
Yeah. And I know that we bang on about Betty all the time, who is our wisest client. I say wisest, but it just means oldest. So if we're being real, but she has had knee replacements, she's got frozen shoulders, she's got all of these issues, but she keeps exercising. And she even reached out to me in regards to the 21-day knee pain solution and said, can we talk about it? Do you think I would be able to do that? And, I went through it with her. And, we decided that, it just wasn't right now, because she's got so much happening with the doctor's appointments that, she's running a hubby around to and all that type of stuff. And she's already working out as well too. So, it might be right for her next time, but, you want to be able to give it the time that it needs. And the reality is it's only 15 minutes a day. It's nothing.
Minutes a day, 15 minutes, And can I just go back to Betty? Now, this is Betty and her level of commitment to her body. This morning, I do the 7 a.m. ladies, and that's the group that Betty's in. Now, towards the end of the workout, she was feeling a little bit, not feeling the best, a little bit dizzy.
Yeah.
Do you know, instead of stopping, we took it to a chair and she did even lower alternates.
Yeah.
Because she did not want to stop. She wanted to keep moving. So there is always, excuse me, there is always an alternate. If you do have those struggles, there is always something else that you can do, you know?
Yeah.
And if you have looked at this knee pain solution, you know, Peter said Betty reached out to her. She thought, oh, maybe, you know, reach out to Peter. If you're unsure because you just, you know, oh, maybe it's, I shouldn't do it, reach out, ask those questions, get that knowledge.
Yeah, absolutely, which is one of the things that we wrote down, you know, that the research shows that it's one of the blocks that we have, one of the reasons that we give ourselves that we can't actually exercise because we don't have the skills and the knowledge, but there's always someone around who does have it. It can also look at it from the other perspective as well too. Sometimes what happens is we actually collect knowledge. You know, we just keep getting more and more and more and more, and then we never take action on it. If you actually go to your kitchen and have a look at how many recipe books, that's probably a clear indication. Ask yourself how many recipes you've used out of those recipe books, you know. So I only have a few. I only use recipe books that I actually, you know, use recipes out of. So I got rid of all the rest of them. Yeah, they're out of there. They're just collecting dust. And let's face it, who wants to spend time dusting? Not me. I'd sooner be doing something else. Sal, have you got any other reasons?
That's the thing, though, too, Peter. If we, sorry, I was just going to say, you know, get that knowledge. But sometimes if we are those people, as you said, other perspective, getting all that knowledge, are you one of those people that get so much knowledge that it just stops you in your track because you don't know where to start?
Yeah.
Because this person's telling you this and this person's telling you that, and then someone over here is telling you that. So you're just so confused. Once again, goes back to that support. Reach out for that support and for that guidance.
We even look
I have an interesting fact, Peter. Sorry, no, you keep going. Sorry,
no, I was going.
An interesting fact in a second.
Yeah, no, I was actually thinking about it from an eating perspective. You know, we've got plant-based, we've got keto, we've got paleo, we've got low carb, we've got, you know, et cetera, et cetera. The list goes on and on. But if you think about, well, how do you eat right now? And if you go on one of those things, are you just going to do it for a little amount of time? Or is it something that you're going to change for your life? Because if you're not going to change it and you're not going to stick with it, then you're better off going, well, here's what I eat. Let me, you know, work with a coach who can help me adjust what it is that I'm doing so that I can stick with what I enjoy. Yeah.
Yes.
And what feels good for me, because that's the one that's going to win hands down every day of the week.
Absolutely. And there's so much knowledge these days, you know, going back to that 1,200 calorie thing you were talking to.
Yeah.
That's our, you know, that's our past type thing, you know, back when we were 18, 19, 20, in our 30s. It was that 1,200 calories. But things have changed so much, and there's so much research into and science into that 1,200 calories doesn't work for us anymore.
Yeah.
You know, so you've got to, you know, when you are doing whatever diet it might be, think about who you are now, not who you were 30 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Let's hear this interesting fact. I'm keen.
Yes, interesting fact. Now, this is from the Heart Foundation of America.
Yes.
So big numbers. 55 million people in America have a gym membership. 67% do not use it.
Yeah, that's about right.
So, yes. So how many times have you signed up for something and not taken advantage of it? That's where you waste your money. You know, this knee pain solution is so amazing that when you sign up for it, take advantage of it. Don't just go, "I'll sign up, that's it."
Yeah.
You're trying to help your life. You're trying to help your movement. You're helping your body. And we said this a few weeks ago in one of our videos. You are your own medicine. So you're going to sit in that pain, or are you going to give your body the medicine that it needs? And it's not necessarily medicine from your doctor.
Yeah. It's an interesting stat, and it's one I've known for a lot of years. You know, we've always worked on, you know, working in the fitness industry. You always worked on the fact that only about 33% of your members would come in and use the facility. Because if you think about it, if every member who was on the books for a gym came in, they're not going to have enough equipment. So it's not doable. So they work on that 33%. So it is true. And that's been around a really, really long time. So, you know, at least 20 years that I've been aware of that. You know, we work on the basis that we want, you know, at 70% of our women to work out, you know, and so the other 30% of the time, you know, they're off on holidays, but we don't like to use that excuse either. It's like, well, you know, no. You're going to come back and
it's online, yeah.
Yeah, you're going to come back, you know, and you've lost your strength, and then what are you going to do then? You know, you're going to go, "Oh, go easy on me." Or hang on a minute, you could have done some squats and some push-ups and some walkouts while you were away. Like literally, you could have done 5 or 10 minutes of it. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, and going back to that, you know, 67% of people that don't use their gym membership. Yes. Do you actually have a gym this is a question to people out there. Do you actually have a gym membership that you haven't used in the last month?
Yes.
That you look at what we do and you go, "Oh, I'd love to do that, but I have a gym membership over here." Now, be honest with yourself. Are you going to go and use that gym? How many times have we said, "Oh, I'm going to go to the gym"?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you don't go, but you're paying this money.
Yeah.
But then you see something over here and you go, "Oh, that would be really good." Why are you afraid to cancel your gym membership to take advantage of something that you like over here?
Yeah, interesting, isn't
it? Because in all honesty, are you really going to go to the gym? Probably not.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Elise there, you know, because she said to me, "I've got a gym membership. I really want to do it," because she started off doing our Stronger Core Challenge with us, you know. So so she did that program, and then she said, "I really want to join, but I've got a gym membership." And I said, "Well, are you going?" "No, I'm not." "Well, then you can cancel it. You know, you're not locked into it. So it is up to you. Yeah. You know, if you're going to go and use it, great, go use it." But I was thinking about, you know, the gym membership that I signed up for originally. So I was in my 40s, you know, as I mentioned, I was going through menopause, I was putting on weight, and a friend recommended strength training. So that is why I started. And that's how I got so interested in our mind and our body and how it actually functioned, that I went off and got all my qualifications. But, you know, I walk in that door and I was greeted by a 20-something and I said, "Oh, I'm here to join." You know, they sit me down and they start asking me questions, and my head's going, "What do you know about menopause? Like, seriously?" You know, and I've just gone, "Oh, look, love, I'm just here to sign up. Just let me do it." So, because if they'd kept on going, I probably would have got and walked out the door. So this is where it's really important that as a coach, you're able to read the situations on what actually is happening. You know, what is that person thinking about right now? Because, you know, we will get caught up in our thoughts. And when I joined, I didn't join up pay, monthly or weekly or whatever it was at the time. It was like, no, I'm giving you 12 months worth. And she said, you're going to pay for it. Yeah, here's my cash. So in the days of cash, we don't know what that is these days.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I handed it over to her because I knew that if I put that money up front, I'm going. So they weren't open on Sundays, but they were open 6 days, and I was there 6 days every single day for the 12 months. That created a habit for me. It created that daily routine for me that had me, doing it. And I continue to do it to this day.
Yeah. And the thing too is sometimes you sign up to a gym and that's it. You sign up to a gym, you have no idea how to use the machines. If you have signed up to a gym, I want you to think about what you've actually used there. Is it just the treadmill and cross trainer and bike?
Yeah.
Have you actually got onto a machine? How many times have you walked past the weight machines and thought, oh, I'd like to learn how to use that?
Yeah.
But have then once again been self-conscious because you don't want to ask anybody, you don't want to look stupid, you don't want to look like you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I love about Strong Healthy Women is because we are so focused on technique and getting our ladies to do the exercises properly. But it's not just that, it's that connection with our ladies. As you said, reading the room, reading what their needs are, what their insecurities are, and having that connection with our clients.
Yeah, absolutely. So do you have any other reasons written down, Sal, that you want to talk about?
No, we've covered everything that I had written down today. One reason or excuse that I did see was I don't like to sweat.
Yes.
That was in the top 10. I don't like to sweat.
Yeah. I've heard that. And trust me, when you've gone through menopause, you get over that.
Absolutely.
You sweat.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you sweat when you don't have any control over it. So, it's just go with it. So there is one other that gets used quite a lot, and that is motivation. And, and we've done sessions on just motivation to death type of thing. But really, here's what I want you to think about when it comes to motivation. I want you to think about what it actually means. We women tend to not spend any time delving into what our thought processes are. And so when we do that, we throw everything into this one basket, which is, I don't have the motivation. But the reality is, if you can find out what the real reason is behind that, then you can find the solution for, taking that first step. And I honestly think that all of the reasons that we've talked about today, they come down to this. We all know that we want to be fitter and healthier and stronger for life. We all know that exercise is good for us. There is absolutely nothing new that I am telling you there. So we're smart and we know it. But what we want to do it, we have all these reasons, but it's just not high on our priority list. That's really what it boils down to.
It's down to absolutely. And I think there's probably only one that you could say is a reason, and that is physical health issues such as what Glenn has at the moment.
Yeah,
everything else is an excuse. Everything else is an excuse. Time's an excuse because we all have the same 24 hours a day. Tired is an excuse because exercise gives you energy. Cost is an excuse because you can cut down on something else. Or have a think about this. How much money are you paying for your medications? For your diabetes or your heart medication or whatever, vertigo, blood pressure pills. How much money you're spending on those things. So that's an excuse. And yes, while they are health issues, they are preventable health issues. 9 times out of 10, preventable health issues,
And if you don't have them now, then, start doing it now. So start doing the preventative work now, as opposed to actually getting to the stage where you then have to be one of those statistics that's taking pills. And, we start rattling more and more as we get older. And so, I've know ladies who work out with us who, are in their 80s and are on no medication whatsoever.
Exactly.
We've those in their 70s who have no medication.
And we've had clients who have had high blood pressure and have started exercising and have been taken off their medication.
Absolutely. So let's just run down those reasons that we've come up with today, Sal, to wrap it all up. We've got
excuses.
Reasons, excuses. Okay, because we're being down and dirty
excuses.
in it. Excuses. Okay, so we've got self-efficacy, we've got fear of injury, inertia, self-conscious, health problems, time, knowledge, support. Motivation was one of the other ones. What else did you have there, Sal?
I had cost,
tiredness, exactly. And so
and sweating.
No, and I don't want to sweat. So look, I honestly hope you've enjoyed today's session that we've gone through. If it's had a little bit of a grind at you, think about why. Okay, so why is it grinding at you? Because what you'll find is there's probably a little nerve that's been triggered there. And if you can actually spend some time delving into that true reason, what you can uncover is trying to make this the priority for you, because you are smart and you know that you need to stay strong and fit for life. And so what we want to do today is just simply highlight some of the reasons, tell you that you're not alone with the reasons or the excuses, but give you the opportunity to really understand that it comes down to that one thing. It's simply not a priority for you right now. So then that's okay. You can own that. But if you are really, really thinking, well, hang on a minute, I am a priority, I really need to do it, then get rid of the excuses and reach out. Sal and I are happy to chat with you in regards to, what is the first thing that you can do to get started.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining me, Sal.
Thanks for having me. And ladies, please just take, when you've watched this and you've listened, take that moment, not even a moment, take an hour, take all day, self-reflect. Are you going to be, and I love what Peter said, are you going to be in your problem, or are you going to find that solution? Yeah, exactly. All right, ladies, take care. Have a super day, and we'll see you all soon. Bye now. Bye.